Previously on the Proxy market. Mara learned the worst buyer did not need a face when the whole city was willing to act as one. Now ordinary work starts sounding hollow, and the people paid to carry burdens begin to disappear inside the jobs. Episode 12, Hollow Work. Varric did not meet Mara in an interrogation room. That would have been honest. He received her in a consultation chamber with soft chairs, clean water, gray walls, and a window overlooking Grant Square. From that height, the public board looked small enough to forgive. People moved below it like punctuation. Varric had built a room where consequences were visible only as civic pattern. Mara entered with Wren at her back, Oren limping beside her, and the certified provenance strip hidden inside her coat. She had folded it twice, then once more, then stopped because folding did not make truth safer. It only made it smaller. Varric stood when she entered. Of course he did. "Ms. Venn," he said, "you have had a difficult morning. That is one way to describe civic kidnapping, evidence laundering, and a basement full of obedience machines. Precision matters. Then try some." Varric's smile did not move far enough to be warm. "Please sit." No one sat. Mara looked past him. There was a second room beyond the glass wall. Niko stood inside it. He looked too small in the clean light, too young in the oversized school jacket. He had one hand flat against the glass and one pencil tucked behind his ear, because apparently even protective custody could not cure him of being himself. Relief hit Mara so hard she hated it. Niko saw her and shook his head once. No. He was telling her not to do something before she knew what it was. That was family. Efficient dread. "He is unharmed," Varric said. "Then unlock the door. He is safer there for the moment." That phrase is getting a lot of work tonight. Because danger is moving quickly. You are danger with furniture. Wren made a small sound behind her. It might have been warning. It might have been agreement escaping before training caught it. Varric gestured to the table. A contract waited there. Not black like the docket, not sealed like a threat. Cream paper, blue border, brass weight at each corner, elegant type. The sort of document designed to make coercion feel like a scholarship. At the top, Dependent Protection and Corrective Testimony Agreement. Below it, Guardian, Mara Venn. Dependent, Niko Venn. Protective Terms. Learning House debt cleared. Benefactors circle access suspended. Demonstration placement removed. Guardian liability deferred. Current escort released. Mara read those lines first because the body was traitorous and practical. Debt cleared. Placement removed. Released. Page 2 was always where hope stood with clean cuffs. Varric let her read. That was his talent. He knew when silence was the sharpest instrument. "What is page 3? Mara asked. "You have grown suspicious of page 3. It has earned a reputation." He turned the page for her. Corrective testimony at renewal forum. Withdrawal of unauthorized disclosure claims. Surrender of uncertified residual materials. Participation in supervised demonstration review. Future category cooperation as determined by civic renewal safety assessment. Mara's eyes stopped there. Future category cooperation. A standard protective clause. No, it is not. You have not read many dependent protection agreements. I have read enough traps to recognize handwriting. Varric folded his hands. Smooth hands, clean nails, no ink, no brass tag at the throat. A man who had built a city of costs and kept his fingers soft. "You are emotionally heightened," he said, "understandably. This agreement prevents your brother from being drawn into public procedures while preserving your opportunity to correct a disclosure that was, at best, contextually incomplete. You mean true before you renamed it. Truth without context can be cruelty. So can context." For the first time, his smile thinned. "Good." Niko tapped the glass. Mara looked up. He had written something on the inside fog with his finger. The glass did not hold it well, but she could read enough. Do not. Varric glanced toward him. Your brother is bright. He gets that from people who cannot afford to waste attention. Then he likely understands arithmetic. One signature removes him from the demonstration pathway. Niko hit the glass with the heel of his hand. Mara flinched. Varric did not. He is frightened, Varric said. Children often mistake protection for betrayal when adults disagree about risk. Do not explain my brother to me from the room you locked him in. He is not locked in. The room is controlled. Your language should be illegal. Some of it is, Oren said quietly. Varric looked at him as if noticing a stain on a document. Mr. Vale, your participation in unauthorized provenance activity is under review. Oren's gloved hand trembled on his satchel. Most true things are. Mara had never liked him more. The contract warmed under the brass weights. A small blue reader rose from the table. Consent stamp ready. The borrowed gilt under Mara's ribs woke like it had been waiting for better lighting. Here was an authority. Here was a wrong. Here was an instruction. Here was a way to repair it. Sign. Debt cleared. Niko safe. Pell, Joss, youth cohorts, city, truth, choice. All of them crowded the room, but Niko stood behind glass with his hand on the place where her hand wanted to be. Mara stepped toward the table. Oren said, Mara. Ren said nothing. Varric did not move. That was how she knew he thought he had won. The contract did not ask her to carry remorse yet. It asked for corrective testimony, review participation, future cooperation, hollow work. Not a burden she could feel now, but an empty place where tomorrow's refusal should have been. She could sell the future version of herself. That woman was not in the room to object. Mara lifted her tag toward the reader. Niko shouted behind the glass. The room muted the sound, but not the shape. No. Mara stopped. Varric sighed softly. Niko, this is not helpful. The intercom opened with a polite chime. Niko's voice came through thin and shaking. If she signs, I refuse the protection. Mara turned. Niko, I refuse it. You do not know what that means. I know what page 3 means. Varric's eyes shifted. Niko swallowed. He was afraid. He was very clearly afraid, which made the next part count. They gave me contract balance, Niko said. That was the sample lesson, remember? I know what open clauses look like now. Mara's chest tightened. The lesson had cost someone. It had left residue. It had frightened him. And now he was using it like a tool someone had stolen and dropped in his hands. Niko, Varric said gently, partial knowledge can make a document seem more threatening than it is. Niko looked at him through the glass. That sentence is what people say when the math is bad. Mara had never been prouder and more nauseated at the same time. Niko pointed at the contract from his side of the glass. Corrective testimony means she says the leak was wrong. Incomplete, Varric said. Wrong enough that people stop listening. Withdrawal of residual materials means you take the reader strip and the archive copy. For safety. For labels. Varric's face remained patient, but the patience had edges now. Niko kept going. His voice shook less when he had something to solve. Participation in supervised demonstration review means she is in the room when you test it. Observation is not participation. Then write observation. Silence. It was small, barely a breath. But it belonged to Niko. He saw it too. And future category cooperation, he said, means you can call whatever happens next safety assessment. Mara looked down at page 3. The words had not changed. They had only become less polite. Future category cooperation, as determined by civic renewal safety assessment. Not one assignment, not one statement, not one hearing. A door without a room behind it. Hollow work. Mara had almost put her tag to that door. The borrowed guilt tried to save itself by changing tactics. He is a child. You decide. You pay. That was the old habit, the sister habit, the guardian habit, the market habit wearing love's coat. Niko flattened both hands against the glass. It means they get to decide what you are later. It means they buy me with your tomorrow. It means I become the reason you cannot say no. Mara could not speak. Niko pressed both hands against the glass now. I do not want to be safe like that. You are scared, Mara said. Yes. You might be hurt. Yes. The debt will get worse. I know. You do not know all of it. Neither do you, he said. That hit harder than she liked. Because it was true. The future had always been the place Mara tried to stand in front of. She had blocked it with work, fees, rules, cautions, jokes, and her own body when there was nothing else. But the future kept getting around her. It had found Niko at a school desk. It had put blue chalk in his mouth. It had led him behind glass. I am not asking to choose alone, Niko said. I am asking you not to choose by selling yourself and calling it mine. The guilt in Mara's ribs clawed for purchase. Protect him. Fix it. Sign. She looked at Varric. Open the door. He is a minor under protective review. He is a person refusing the terms. He lacks full standing. Then give him mine, Mara said. Varric stilled. Mara did not know where the sentence had come from until it was already standing in the room. Then she understood. Not a contract, not a transfer. A witness. Put him on the record, she said, as claimant witness. If the city is the claimant class, let one citizen say no before your vote explains him away. Varric's expression cooled. Be careful. I am being careful. Reckless would be throwing the chair. Wren moved before Varric answered. He touched a control at the wall. The glass door clicked. Everyone looked at him. Wren's face was unreadable in the way a cracked wall was unreadable until rain got in. The minor has made a refusal statement, he said. Procedure requires direct record if a protection condition is disputed by the dependent. Varric looked at him. The room temperature seemed to drop. Officer Wren, Varric said. Proper form, Wren said. Niko pushed the door open and stumbled into the room. Mara caught him with both arms. For 1 second, the whole city narrowed to the sharp bones of her brother's shoulders under her hands. He was real. He was warm. He was shaking. I did not sign, he said into her coat. I know. I wanted to. I know. I still kind of want to. I know. He pulled back enough to look at her. Do not sign for me. That was the cost. Not refusing Varric, not defying the authority. Those were frightening, but they were outside her. The cost was letting Niko own a risk she could not soften by spending herself. Mara turned to the contract. She picked up the brass weight and set it on page 3 hard enough to leave a crease. No. The room held the word. Varric did not look angry. That was not comforting. Then the protective offer is withdrawn, he said. The contract reader printed immediately. Dependent protection declined. Learning house debt, accelerated. Guardian ability, active. Demonstration pathway. Review escalated. Niko went pale. Mara kept one hand on his shoulder because if she did not, she might reach for the contract again. Varric turned toward Wren. Escort them to holding. Wren did not move. Officer. Before Wren could answer, the consultation chamber lights flickered. Not off. Blue. The certified provenance strip inside Mara's coat warmed like a coal. Oren looked toward the ceiling vents. Tamsin's voice came through the room speaker, clipped and furious. If anyone in that room can hear me, the teeth ward has received 6 demonstration intake transfers, and one of them is a child claimant. You have less time than you think. The speaker cut. Varric's calm broke for half a second. Mara saw it. So did Niko. So did Ren. Niko wiped his face with his sleeve. What do we do? Mara looked at the debt notice still printing, at the contract she had not signed, at Varric's face resetting itself. We move before they do, she said. Ren looked at the door, then at Varric, then finally, at Mara. There is no authorized route from this chamber to demonstration intake, he said. Mara almost laughed. Is that your way of helping? It is my way of stating a fact. Oren straightened, still pale from the archive seal. Facts can be routes if read by desperate people. Ren's jaw tightened. Laundry service lift, he said. East corridor. It runs below the forum stage before intake locks. Varric's voice went cold. Officer Ren. Ren did not look at him. Proper form requires dependent refusal to be recorded before protective withdrawal, Ren said. The record clerk is not here. I'm going to find one. He opened the consultation chamber door. Not the glass room, the outer door. For 3 seconds, no one moved. Then Niko grabbed Mara's hand. Oren took the contract, not to save it, but to keep page 3 from disappearing cleanly. Mara snatched the debt acceleration strip and shoved it into her coat beside the certified provenance. Varric stepped aside as if letting them pass had been his idea all along. That frightened Mara more than if he had blocked the door. Ms. Venn, he said. She paused. His smile returned, smaller now. The demonstration will proceed with or without your understanding. Mara looked at Niko's hand in hers, at Oren's shaking grip on the contract, at Ren standing in the hallway pretending not to wait. Then we will bring our ignorance downstairs, she said. They ran.